Tadej Pogačar has had a nearly flawless start to his 2026 season, but his campaign hit a sudden, agonising wall just 2 weeks ago when he lost a tight velodrome sprint to Wout van Aert at Paris-Roubaix. That second-place finish stung, but it does little to diminish his staggering career resume. Pogačar already holds victories across 4 of cycling's 5 monuments, the sport's most prestigious and punishing one-day events. He recently brought his total monument tally to 12, cementing his status as the premier rider of his generation. Because of that absolute dominance, Pogačar's competition is no longer in the modern peloton. He is chasing the ghost of Eddy Merckx. Over the next 8 days, Pogačar faces a brutal gauntlet designed to test that exact legacy. He will attempt to conquer the oldest one-day race on the calendar, Liège Bastogne Liège, and then immediately head to the Alps to race the grueling 6-day Tour de Romandie. These 2 incredibly different battlegrounds provide a rare opportunity. If he succeeds, Pogačar will simultaneously match Merckx's greatest single-day record and capture a career milestone that Merckx never could. The campaign begins in Belgium at Liège Bastogne Liège. Known as La Doyenne, or the Old Lady, it is a relentless 259-kilometer test of endurance through the Ardennes forest. Looking at the elevation profile of the route, you can see exactly why the race is so punishing. Riders have to drag themselves over a staggering 4,401 meters of cumulative climbing. But the true cruelty of La Doyenne is how that difficulty is backloaded. The first 160 kilometers wear down the legs, leaving 8 of the race's 11 categorized climbs jammed tightly into the final 90 kilometers. The race is almost always decided in the final 30 kilometers. Contenders use the Côte de la Redoute as a launch pad for long-range attacks before hitting the absolute wall of the Roche aux Falcons, which forces exhausted riders up an 11% gradient. To conquer these climbs, UAE Team Emirates will deploy specialists like Benoit Cosnefroy and Tim Wellens. Their job is to set a blistering pace on the ascents, grinding the peloton down to nothing, so Pogačar can launch a solo attack. The primary obstacle standing in Pogačar's way is Remco Evenepoel. As a former winner racing on his home soil in Belgium, Evenepoel arrives fresh off an impressive victory at the Amstel Gold Race. Pogačar has already won Liège in 2021, 2024, and 2025. A 4th victory moves him into a tie for 2nd on the all-time winners list, placing him a single win away from matching Eddy Merckx's legendary record of 5. Just 48 hours after that explosive finish in Belgium, the entire dynamic shifts. Pogačar will line up in Switzerland for the Tour de Romandie, trading one-day chaos for multi-day attrition. This race belongs to cycling's Big 7, the most prestigious week-long stage races outside the Grand Tours. Pogačar has already conquered 4 of them, leaving only the Basque Country, Tour de Suisse and Romandie titles unchecked. Capturing all 7 is a feat that has completely eluded every rider in history. Even Eddy Merckx retired with a blank space where the Tour de Romandie should be. Securing this title demands a completely different physical profile than the classics. Pogačar has to survive sustained oxygen-depleted mountain warfare, pacing his efforts perfectly across a prologue and 5 brutal road stages. The shock to the system arrives immediately on stage 1. Out of nowhere, the riders hit the Auvergne-Naz ascent, grinding a 9.5% gradient for 9 continuous kilometers. The general classification battle peaks on Sunday stage 5. The week ends with a 15-kilometer mountaintop finish at Liège, where the maximum pitches hit an agonizing 14%, facing over 3,000 meters of daily elevation, requires his team to operate defensively. Rather than lighting up the race with explosive lead-outs, riders like Pavel Sivakov and Domen Novak will form a calculated shield around Pogačar to conserve his energy for the final kilometers. Transitioning from the intense punchy hills of the Belgian Ardennes to the suffocating hour-long alpine ascents of Switzerland over an 8-day window requires massive physiological adaptation. Modern sports science dictates that riders must choose a discipline. You tailor your body to win a one-day classic, or you strip away muscle mass to survive multi-day stage races in the high mountains. UAE Team Emirates is positioning Pogačar to defy those exact limits. He is entering this narrow window fully prepared to capture both crowns by matching Merckx in the Ardennes and securing a Swiss victory that eluded the sport's icons. Pogačar moves past comparisons. We are watching a live demonstration of what it takes to be the greatest cyclist to ever ride a bike.